welcome, lovelies, to the Ultimate Dance Business Podcast. My name is Deborah Laws, the dance business expert. My passion is to help you turn your passion into profit while guiding you to work less and earn more. I'm super excited to share interviews with you that I know will inspire and motivate you in your schools, as well as my solo shows where I shall be sharing some great tips and strategies. So if you love the show, please do remember to review, subscribe, and share it with your fellow dance boss friends. So let's get stuck into the business of dance. Today, everybody, we are going to be talking about being your most outstanding version of you for the next 12 months. Because I firmly believe that you all have pure and utter greatness inside of you. And sometimes that greatness gets a little bit squashed down by life in general, by overwhelm, by stress, by parents that sometimes aren't happy, by students that sometimes don't have energy. Like, we all have the same challenges and trials and tribulations running our schools. And sometimes the greatness in us just gets a little bit dampened down by just daily running the dance school. So I want us to have a little think today about what we could do to be more outstanding for the next 12 months. So I have a little task for you today. I hope you might have at hand a pen and paper. I would love you to write down 3 things that you wish to become more outstanding at next year. Now, this might be 3 things that you're already really great at, 3 things that you know you do really well, and you're just going to kind of amplify this. Or maybe there are 3 areas that you know you don't do particularly well, areas that you'd love to learn a bit more in. Maybe that's marketing, maybe it's using social media, or being better at communicating with parents, or using more technology and systems. Like, what are 3 ways in which you wish to show up as a better boss, better for your team, better for your students, better for yourself, better for your family? And then I want you to think about, how is this going to be felt by others around you when you have tackled these 3 things and when you have become more outstanding at these 3 things? Like, what is the ripple effect going to be if you achieve this? So let's imagine that one of the things that you've written down is not spending enough time with your family or your partner or your cats, whoever, whatever it might be. Like, maybe you just don't feel that you're present enough outside of running your dance school with the rest of your life. So one of the things that you want to be much better at next year is setting boundaries to walk in the door and put your phone away and not be messaging and answering people, responding to emails at 11 o'clock at night when maybe you're sat trying to watch a little bit of telly with your husband and he wants a chance to be able to just chat and share and have a cuddle on the sofa, and you're busy on your phone answering emails, or maybe you're doing office work on a Sunday when you promise your family that you won't. Like, that would be something that you want to be better at around your boundaries, your work-life boundaries. So how is everyone going to feel if you get better at that? And then I want you to think about, what is it that you could do now to set better boundaries in place? Are you going to tell your husband or your wife or your partner or your mum or whoever it is that may be around you, when I get in the door, please take the phone off of me. Don't let me have it back until tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Or are you going to email out to your parents and explain to them that you have these new working hours and that you will respond to people within the correct times and that you won't answer emails anymore at these times? If it's something around boundaries, who is going to feel better when you have set this in place, when you are more outstanding at creating a better work-life balance? Who is going to enjoy this? Well, you're going to enjoy it better. Your family are going to enjoy it better, and you are going to potentially feel more balanced in your life. So that's just one example, but it could be something around, say, collecting fees. Maybe you've decided that you finally are going to enlist yourself onto one of these dance school software programs, and you're going to automate all your payments, and it's been something you've been wanting to do for years. Maybe that's what you're going to do so that your customers get a slicker, better, easier method of payment. And of course, it saves you lots and lots of time and admin and time in the office doing things that, let's quite frankly agree, don't really excite us very much, chasing fees, for example. So 3 areas where you want to become outstanding next year and show up better. And then I want you to decide, what's the deadline for this? Like, say it's the boundaries one, the deadline could be the end of this week. You're going to decide what the new boundaries are. You're going to tell your family and friends. You're going to email out to the parents, and you're going to decide that by the end of the week, you're going to stick to it, and that's job done. But if it's something bigger, like changing your fee structure or automating payments, this is likely to take 2 or 3 months. So maybe it's a goal for the first quarter of the year or the third quarter of the year. But what I want you to do is to set in place time frames for these 3 things to happen. And then the next thing I'd love you to do is have a little think about your team. How could your team become more outstanding? So if you have teachers or administrators or bookkeepers or anyone that works for you, I'm sure, we're all highly critical of ourselves and of others. I'm sure there are areas where you think improvements could be made. So why not ask your teachers, what are 3 things that you would love to become more outstanding at in terms of serving your students and the parents that you see in your classes on a regular basis? What do you want to become better at? So maybe that's, time management. Maybe they let themselves get carried away in class and only get through 3 things when they wanted to get through 5 things. Maybe it's discipline. Maybe they just want their kids to be a little bit more focused. Or maybe they want to get better at planning their classes so that when it comes to exams, they don't suddenly realize that they've only got 4 weeks left and they haven't started to dance. So ask your team to identify 3 areas that they would love to become better in. And then say to them, if you did manage to follow this through, how would your classes feel different? How would it feel to you? What would you feel like if you had more focused classes because you've worked on discipline? Your class plans are helping to keep you focused and get kids prepared for exams on time. And your time management is better in class. How would that make you feel? Like, get them to identify that. So I thought I would just share with you guys today the planners that I have produced for dance school owners, because these are flying out of Amazon like hotcakes. And if you don't have yours yet, then all you have to do is pop to Amazon and type into the search Deborah Laws, and all 3 books will come up. So the ultimate dance business planner I designed for you so that you had a little bit of a Deborah on your desktop. The planners are full of business training, tips, motivational quotes, things to do at the start of the month, things to do at the end of the month, ways in which you can plan out your marketing and your retention, and they are selling all over the world. So go to Amazon, grab your #1 best-selling Ultimate Dance Business Planner, and enjoy mapping out the growth for your studio. And how are their students going to feel? Are their students going to think, gosh, these classes are a lot better. We don't spend a whole hour just working on 3 exercises anymore. Like, they're more fun. They're not so boring. They don't drag anymore. Or are they going to think, gosh, I'm really enjoying the classes because so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so aren't allowed to muck about anymore, and we get so much more work done. Your parents and the students are going to feel the ripple effect of the teacher becoming more outstanding. And of course, if the kids are happier, the parents are going to be happier. So this is a great little exercise you can do with your teachers. Get them on a Zoom meeting, explain to them, there are these 3 things that I'm going to become better at this year, and hold yourself accountable to them. Explain what those 3 things are, and then say, I'd love you to do this little exercise too. Let's all do it together now, and get them to identify 3 things. It brings up great conversations. You can all discuss this as a team. You can all input ideas into helping each other with their 3 things. And then ask yourself after this meeting, the 3 things that they wanted to become more outstanding at, how does that match with maybe 3 things that you're feeling they should become more outstanding at? Because there may be areas that the teacher wants to work on, which you agree with, but there could be other areas that you also feel they should be working on. And if they have not identified anything from the 3 things that you think, then that gives you some great content for further trainings with them. And then lastly, have a think about your parents. Maybe your parents could become more outstanding. So, wouldn't this be fabulous? Maybe you want them to become more involved in a lot of the activities and the opportunities that you put on. Or maybe you want them to behave differently. Perhaps you would love them to recommend you more in social media, or be better at word of mouth, better at referrals. Like, how could your parents be more on board and behave towards you and the school in a way that would be more outstanding for you? And then think about, okay, they're not going to just go about doing that by themselves. I can't create a Zoom meeting for them and say, right, these are the 3 things I want you to be better at. That would be cool, wouldn't it? But we can't do that. So how can I elicit this from the parents? Like, how can I communicate in a way that's different, that gets them more engaged? How can I encourage more word of mouth? So in other words, what are the strategies that I need to do that mean that our parents will become more outstanding in my eyes? So 3 questions for 3 different people. 3 questions for yourself, 3 questions for your team, and 3 questions around your parents. And then, of course, I would love you to not just set deadlines for when you're going to try and see these changes, but also how are you going to go about measuring them? So how will you know if your parents are suddenly becoming your raving fans? How can you create some kind of awareness around whether that's working or not? How do you know if your teachers have got better with their classroom management? And how can you measure if your boundaries are better in place? That's an important element of this exercise, because it's great just creating the vision. This is how I'm going to be more outstanding. This is how the team and the parents could become more outstanding. And this is when it's going to happen by. But it's no good if we can't actually then kind of look and see if it's working or not. So there's a great little mini project for you to sit down and do. I hope you have fun with it. Like, it should be a lot of fun, learning how to be more outstanding. And, as well as that, you've now created some great team engagement sessions and, a great way to build a better set of parents that are on side. Take care, everyone. And I will see you on the next episode of the Ultimate Dance Business Podcast. So I wanted to quickly tell you a little bit about Showtime Circus. This is run by my good friend Jess, who has created an incredible circus bolt-on franchise for your dance school. Because aerial and circus performance skills has become a really desirable skill set for choreographers and casting directors. And so Showtime Circus offers the opportunity to buy a franchise package, which will give you all of your necessary equipment, training from experienced staff, syllabus plans, ongoing support, and business support to launch your new franchise. It will really energize your school with increased revenue streams, new student opportunities, and of course, bring all the fun of the circus to your school. So do go and visit showtimecircus.co.uk to find out what the new buzz is around circus skills.